This community was founded in 1882, and basically we were a freight town at that time, with a little bit of farming along the edges of the river. But the Uncompahgre River was never dependable enough to grow the crop that they wanted to grow. So in the late 1800s, the community decided that it would like to have a tunnel. They had surveyed and found that the bottom of the Black Canyon was higher than the Uncompahgre Valley. So they pursued the idea of having a tunnel dug between the two valleys, which was almost unheard of. And the community leaders, I think, lobbied everybody they could find. And in 1902, Congress passed legislation that created the Reclamation Service, which is the forerunner of the Bureau of Reclamation, and the Uncompahgre Valley Water Users Association, along with 4 other projects. And in 1904, the Reclamation Service came to the Uncompahgre Valley, and tunneling started on the Gunnison Tunnel. That was probably the turning point for this community. We may not have survived as a community if we didn't have the tunnel, because there really wasn't enough water in the Uncompahgre. So when they started digging on both sides of the tunnel on 2 different headings. And the 2 crews, when they met, were 18 inches apart. They dug this 5.8-mile tunnel and an 11-mile major canal to carry the water out of the tunnel. They put it on a grade to where it would run up the valley, which is incredible to look at right now. And then they injected that water, they brought that water and put it into the Uncompahgre River and used the Uncompahgre River as the main stem delivery canal rather than building and spending more money on another canal system. Our major head gates are in the river. We have 7 head gates that are in the river. We have a lot of people look at that delivery system because in developing countries, it's something they might be able to attempt. In 1909, it was an incredible wonder. Some of the papers that we have call it the irrigation marvel of the world. It was granted the Civil Engineering Mark of Excellence through 75 years of existence. That tunnel services 575 miles of canals and laterals with about 76,000 acres of land under irrigation. There were 500 people working on that tunnel 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But the average length of stay was around 2 weeks because the work was that incredibly hard. In the Mancos Shale, what we call affectionately the Dobies, that ground will cave in. So they needed to have miners that knew how to crib, in other words, put a roof over them as they were digging. People from the Appalachian coal mines were recruited and brought in here. I met a young man here, his great-grandfather had come directly from Germany to Luana to work on the tunnel. They knew about it worldwide. On the east side was all hard rock mining, right through granite and, the hardest rocks you can find. And a lot of the miners that did that work had been miners up in the gold and silver mines, Nure, Telluride, Rico, those areas. They were Italian citizens, but they knew how to hard rock mine, so when work started getting short, they came down here, went to the east side, and started mining towards the Uncompahgre Valley. It was a tremendous boost to this area. We have water in this basin because of the tunnel. And, we would probably be nothing but a dry, hot, windy place with a little green strip alongside the river, a few hundred yards wide, with people trying to scratch out a living. In the last 100 years, that tunnel has brought success to this valley because agriculture was the top thing when they started. People came here to farm, and the community grew. We are still growing because of the fact that we have the water. We have a system that the rest of the state of Colorado is jealous of. So, we do have a great future in front of us. We had a terrific past, but we are looking at just as good a future because we do have the water, we do have the facilities. Now we'll be in the power business or we'll be in the who knows? Who knows what the future is going to bring? Those folks that built the tunnel had great foresight. I hope that we will have 20% as good. They were trying to envision 100 years and pretty well got it. I hope that we can be envisioning 20 years and be pretty close, you know? And if we can do that, we'll be a success.